Hello, folks. Welcome to the show. It's your girl. We are broadcasting live from Snowy Town, right here in my beautiful DC apartment. We are we're working on the bathroom. We're doing some they're doing some work in the bathroom. So we're here in Snowy Town, just enjoying the beautiful Snowy Town visage, and doing Trump Talk. Trump Talk right here live from Snowy Town. So welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. If you are new to the show, we're going to wait for some people to tune in. This is Trump Talk US. Trump Talk US live from DC. And Zuckerberg is slowing me down. If you get a chance to join into the show, welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. This lighting is horrible, but we're going to keep going. We are going to keep on going. And hopefully, isn't it weird? Like, we do this show all the time. And today, no one's here to talk to us. So we're going to keep talking. We can talk. I just wanted to get a chance to mention to everybody, we are now Trump Talk US live from DC with Suzzanne Monk is operating in conjunction with the Stand With POTUS PAC. So I do have to show you this little disclaimer. We are not authorized by any candidate or candidate committee. So let's go ahead and get started on the news. I wanted to talk a little bit about the executive order that Donald Trump is signing today. He has on the docket. I know nobody's getting notifications. I keep, it's very frustrating, Fred. I actually have signed up for notifications or tried to get people notifications. I just didn't get a chance to email you because I was talking to candidates earlier today. So I didn't get a chance to message anybody. Totally slowing everybody down. So, and I've got work people in my office, in my bathroom. They're taking my toilet out. And, they're taking my toilet out and putting a new one in, fixing it. So I cannot use the office. So we are broadcasting here from Snowy Town. Beautiful Snowy Town. So, yeah, it's only you, Fred. So we can just have a good old talk about, whatever. The weather, how's everybody going, all the good stuff. I love the people who are going to watch this later. Like, Suzzanne blathered for like 5 minutes in the beginning of this video. Just didn't say anything because nobody was here, you guys. Because no one was here. And it's just me and Fred. So there's no point to get everybody riled on the news. When you get here, when you chime in, go ahead and click the like. Give me a little message. Let me know you're here. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. You are tuning in to Trump Talk US live with Suzzanne Monk. We are currently broadcasting from beautiful Snowy Town because my office is it's currently sort of out of sorts because we are doing some repairs in the apartment, in the bathroom, which is right across from my office. And it's either this beautiful display or loud banging the whole time. So we decided to come in here and enjoy Snowy Town. So welcome to the show, you guys. Why don't you get a chance to talk to people today about some of the great stuff that President Trump is doing? One of the things that's happening today is he signing yet another executive order helping our veterans. This executive order is designed to help veterans transition from military life into civilian life. It's one of the problems. We have so many veterans coming back. It is hard to reintegrate their life. Okay. Yeah. Messenger interrupted me. It's hard to reintegrate their lives when they come back from military service. So one of the things that President Trump is signing today will be an executive order designed to provide the funding, the resources, and the initiative to actually help our veterans in their transition back to civilian life, which is so key. One of the problems, we're constantly talking about our homeless veterans problem. We're constantly talking about veterans who are struggling economically. And one of the reasons is that integration back into non-military life. It saves us so much money and effort, and it provides such a better quality of life for our veterans if we're able to find ways for them to reintegrate back into society, to get jobs, to get the support they need for education. Sometimes when you go overseas, things change in your field and you need some re-education. But to have that support network so that we're making sure that when our veterans come back home, they're able to get employed, provide for their families, even our wounded veterans. Everybody wants to feel that they can be a part of. I know. Thanks, Deontay. Thank you. Everyone wants to know that feel that they can be a part of America, of the community, of their local, of their city, their town, of the people. And it's so important when we provide our veterans that mechanism, it actually makes them healthier. That saves us money. Healthy veterans are much cheaper than not healthy veterans. To be fair, are they not? So that saves us money, but it is the right thing to do for our veterans to help them to feel reintegrated back into society. So I'm really proud of the president and all of the work he's done with executive orders when it comes to veterans issues. The Veterans Administration there's a lot of problems that over time we're improving. It's being improved. We're already seeing improvement, but we know that that's going to take time to really get that administration, that behemoth government bureaucracy operating properly. So if you're tuning into the show, please share. Zuckerberg doesn't want me to share. He doesn't want me to talk. He doesn't want me to tell you all of this good information. And he certainly doesn't he doesn't care about the lovely people of Snowy Town. So rude. So rude, Zuckerberg. But Donald Trump's been doing a lot of things. We see this is not the first executive order Donald Trump has signed on veterans issues. He is doing a lot to support our veterans. He had a great speech yesterday talking about law enforcement. Yesterday was Law Enforcement Appreciation. So as we know, a lot of our veterans do go into law enforcement after coming back to the States, coming back to civilian life. So, it's so important to support our military, to support our men and women in law enforcement. Good afternoon, Mary. Good afternoon, Mary. That's my sister right there. That's my girl. She's doing some great stuff. So Donald Trump on the mission with the veterans. Now, is that what the media is talking about? No. The media is still busy talking about Oprah or Nopra. No, it's going to be really funny to watch Oprah's career totally get devastated because she's decided to go up against Trump. And it's not that Trump's going to take her down. It's that she's going to take herself down with hate and division, because she has always prided herself on being somebody who has brought people together, who has been a good force for good in the world. But how can you be a force for good when you are negative, when you are hateful, when you are spiteful, when you reject a whole group of people? She said some very negative things about white people. She's got some problems. But feel free, Oprah, to keep on running, because all that stuff is just going to continue to come up. And this might be the year Trump breaks Oprah. Of no fault of his own. He's not trying. She did it herself. It's like running into a buzzsaw. Why do you do it? You're stupid. Here it is. So we're going to do it. That's what the media wants to talk about. What they don't want to talk about is President Trump and all of the things that are going very positively. They don't want to talk about North Korea and South Korea having made agreements over the Olympics. There are going to be joint efforts in the Olympic effort, so that this is where you begin. One of the things the Olympics was founded for this principle. It was actually founded for the idea that for a small period of time, whatever wars, whatever conflict, whatever violence, in this one space, we could all put all of those things down, recognize our shared humanity. So key. Our shared humanity, and come together in the spirit of athletic competition and compete in peace. It's a symbol of what human, as she actually said she's running. I know Mary and I are all, did you really say you're running? Because we know if it's official or not. I think she's kind of leaning, but she's not really saying. I think she's hinting and letting the talking heads do the fill in the blanks. That's what I think she's kind of doing. Because I don't think she's announced a run that would put legal ramifications on her behavior that I'm pretty sure she has no intention of engaging in. Frankly, is the personal, I think she just doesn't want to get roped down. She just wants to use this for a little bit of hype. It's one of those things where they can use a little bit of hype. Nobody does. And it's funny, somebody was mentioning to me, Donald Trump is an entertainer. Donald Trump is a business. Let's not get it twisted, you guys, okay? This kind of ticks me off, and I want to clarify. Donald Trump was already a successful businessman when he was asked to be on The Apprentice. That's why he was asked to be the boss of The Apprentice, because he was a renowned billionaire, successful businessman, somebody who could be a good boss, and therefore could have apprentices. You're not an apprentice to somebody who doesn't do anything. You're an apprentice to a successful person. That's why they chose Donald Trump. So Donald Trump, before he was an entertainer, was a successful business person. Now, Oprah Winfrey, bless her heart, she was a newsie. She was a little newscaster. She got lucky on a talk show, and that talk show became her success. But there was no particular success that Oprah Winfrey had in her life before that. She wasn't, like a media mogul who then started a talk show. The talk show is Oprah Winfrey. Wow. Mary says she hasn't seen a single episode of The Apprentice. It's actually a really good show, Mary. You'd actually, I think, enjoy it. And it might, nowadays you'd actually start to see some interesting things about President Trump, about his tone. We might start to, I think we'd look at it even a little differently now that we have President Trump in office. So, The Apprentice. Get it on Netflix. They probably have on Netflix, right? Hulu? What do they have it on? I don't know. We'll find it. Yes, she is entirely, Jeremy, you are very astute, and I'm going to read that to everybody. Jeremy says she is using it as a springboard for whoever she chooses to back. She really is. And it's an opportunity to, start to get the backers behind her. All of the left, all of these Hollywood elite types who want to run for it. It's really about raising money. It's really about the fundraising. It's really about how it's getting that big money behind. And you're right, Jeremy, people forget this is the first time Oprah's like, I'm going to run for president. We've heard this routine before. And Jeremy is absolutely correct. Just before Obama, the same thing, and then she gets behind Obama. So, who's she getting ready to get behind? That's who we need to concern ourselves with. Let's hope it's somebody like Michelle Obama or somebody like Joe Biden, somebody stupid and easy to defeat. Oh, wait, it's going to be a Democrat? They're all stupid and easy to defeat. Isn't that the truth? This party is falling apart. So, let's talk a little bit about Donald Trump's tweets and black unemployment numbers being down. The left-wing media loves to get excited, and anytime you mention, Donald Trump is a racist. Donald Trump hates black people. Donald Trump hates Hispanics. Donald Trump hates anybody not white, which is the most ridiculous thing ever. But then, when Donald Trump tweets specifically information about the black community, is like, look, we have brought African-American unemployment down to its lowest level maybe ever. We are getting jobs to the African-American community. Hispanic unemployment is coming down. They get freaked out. The left-wing media, the snowflake media, they freak out. Oh, he's pandering. So let me get this straight. Let me just see if I can parse this out for a second. So not saying anything is racist. And saying something is racist. So either saying something and not saying something are both racist according to the left. What I really think is the problem is that the left-wing media has decided to use the communist concept of racism, which is everything is racist if it doesn't fit into our communist agenda, into our socialist, statist agenda. Anybody who is the enemy, it's a Saul Alinsky tactic, call them a racist. Now, here's what they're going to find very unfortunate going forward, because as we all know, Donald Trump did better in the African-American community than any of his Republican predecessors had since Reagan. In fact, even might have surpassed many of Reagan's numbers when it comes to different states and different counties. And now we have a situation where the main problem that is facing the black community around the world, around the country today, is employment, is jobs, is the economy. This is what people are concerned about. They want to have good jobs. They want to have good schools. They want to be able to raise their family. These are the exact things we're talking about. Well, Donald Trump is bringing back jobs to this community. One of the ways he's doing that, you want to know one of the ways he's doing that? Reducing illegal immigration so that the jobs that might be taken by illegals are now available to American citizens, people who are struggling to find work. There are more jobs opening up because we're fixing the labor market from its illegal cancer. It's really, there's a cancer on the labor market across this country. It's been dragging wages down, holding wages down for a significant period of time, for decades perhaps, but a very long period of time, even recently, particularly under Obama, because they did not enforce the immigration laws. And so unemployment, illegal unemployment, was actually able to grow. The only thing that prevented it from blowing up, you guys, was the economy itself was struggling. As we know, right after the economic crash in between the Bush and Obama administrations, there was a lot of what they call self-deportation of people leaving the country who were here illegally because there was not work. And that was merely based on the fact that the economy had collapsed. It had really suffered a blow. And so there were not the jobs. Now, Trump has brought back the jobs and additionally is securing those jobs for American citizens, which you will find, that's where you're finding these numbers in the African American community of employment growing and of the unemployment numbers coming down, because finally these jobs are actually going to the people who need the jobs. And we have energy boon. Trump has opened up energy exploration and energy production across the country. That saves people a lot of money. It saves businesses a lot of money. It makes it easier to do business. He's cut down a lot of the regulations. And as we see this tax cut going forward, and in fact, additional savings when it comes to employer responsibility for healthcare, all of these costs that were being put on the employer are actually now being lifted. So we're going to see even more and more hiring. Now, I predict in 2020, if us patriots do our work, reaching out across the aisle, reaching out across the cultural divide, making sure that we go into all of the communities across the country, talk to people about President Trump and what he's doing for the country, we are going to win voters over in droves. But we have to be willing to do the work. We have to be willing to go into these blue areas. We have to be willing to talk to people we might be a little nervous talking to before. We have to go places that the Republican Party is unwilling to go. In fact, those are the best places to go, because for decades, the Republican Party has been reticent to really engage the blue state urban areas, and they've ceded that ground repeatedly again and again, just decided, we're not even going to care about these deep blue states. We're not going to go in and talk to the voters. We're not going to try to win them over. And frankly, what that has led to is a dependence and sort of a downward spiral of hopelessness, because you only have one party. You only have the Democrats. And here's what they keep doing. They elect a Democrat and the situation gets worse. They elect another Democrat and the situation gets worse. And because they have no alternative other than to elect a Democrat, the spiral of Democratic failure in these urban areas continues. The Republican Party is in part responsible because it refuses to engage these urban areas. They're afraid of poor, urban blacks and Latinos, as far as I can tell. But we're not, and Trump isn't. And Trump is actually working hard to make sure that those are the communities that have made a difference, that a difference has been made, and that the jobs are coming back, that we're doing things for school choice so that families can have better opportunities for their children. We're doing these kind of things that specifically positively affect and impact these struggling communities, and we are going to win voters over if we bother to go and ask for the vote. One of the best things I saw my president do during the 2016 election is go into African American communities and ask for one of the first times a Republican candidate go into the African community and say, I want your vote. Please vote for me. I'm going to do something to help you. Sorry, phone call. We in the Trump movement, we have to take up the mantle that our president started. We have to also reach out, do what the Republican Party won't. That's why we're taking over the Republican Party. I wore my red elephant shirt today because I wanted to remind everybody we're the new elephants. Okay, we're the new Republican Party. We've taken the Republican Party over at my nose itches. We're at the top, and now we are actually in the process of filtering into the Republican Party, bringing those old school Republicans back around to Republicans. Okay, not right-wing progressives. Come back to small government, you guys. Come back to enumerated powers, you guys. Come back to fiscal responsibility. Come back to conservative principles. Come back to lower taxes. Come back to secure borders. Come back to a strong military. Come back. I know it's really close, isn't it? Come back. Come back, Republicans. You've gone too far towards the other side. And so, Trump is actually doing a service to the Republican Party. They should actually, if some of these never Trumper Republicans actually took some time to think, they'd thank him for what he's done for really reinvigorating the Republican Party, which was dying. It was dying under the rhinos, under the Bush dynasty ideology that we just need to keep doing the same thing always that we do. It was like the Chicago Bears offense, let's just run it up the middle. Well, they know you're going to run up the middle. They're prepared. They block you. You don't get anywhere. You lose. Oh, you're right. You know what we should do? Run it up the middle. This is the mentality. Do the same thing over and over. You somehow expect a different result. And, frankly, we've had a lot of problem. Excuse me. Scratch it. That's much better. We've had a lot of problem with having the Republicans continue this ongoing, we're just going to keep doing the same thing we've always done. So we're there to reinfuse. Trump has made a big dent in that. We need to fix the Republican Party movement, and we are there to back him up. So I'm actually really excited. Now, the mainstream media, here's what's funny, okay? The mainstream media is will not talk about Trump talking about black unemployment numbers. No, they don't want to talk about that. It's racist for Trump to even mention black unemployment numbers. But here's what we should talk about. Let's talk about this kid in a hoodie, okay? Let's talk about an African-American model, young child, who in the H&M catalog, his picture was in a hoodie that says, coolest monkey in the jungle, okay? But the white kid had survival expert, so this is racist. This is what's wrong with the mainstream media. They're more worried about what's happening in the H&M catalog than they are worried about black unemployment numbers, about families being able to feed their kids. They're more worried about that kid who, frankly, his parents were there when he put on the hoodie and signed the contract. He cashed the check. That kid's not upset. He's not unhappy to be the coolest monkey in the jungle. He was happy to take the check. But we are obsessed with this political correct brain disease where we're so worried that we use the wrong word or we use the wrong reference or we use, that somebody's going to take it the wrong way, but we're not going to address the real problems really happening to these ethnic communities. It's absolutely infuriating. Nobody gives a crap about kid in the hoodie. Okay? But we do give a crap about jobs coming back to our communities, about ending the crime that's in our communities, about, building the infrastructure necessary so those jobs can continue to come back. These are the kind of things people are actually worried about. Mainstream media doesn't care about that. Doesn't care about that at all. So, this is the problem we're having with PC culture. It's devastating because it focuses on these false fears of somebody could be offended, of a potential offense when the real things that are actually offensive, like not having a job and not having a house and your neighborhood being filled with crime, that's the real problem. But we don't want to talk about that because, I don't know. The media is ridiculous. Because race baiting makes a lot more clicks, I guess, than actually dealing with the issues. And that's why I love my president, because he's much more concerned about dealing with the issues and getting the job done. And he doesn't care if they call him a racist 1,000 times. He's still going to tell you that black unemployment is down. That's my Trumpy. That's what I love about him. Now, let's talk a little bit about Tom Wolfe's book. If you are aware, WikiLeaks has released a PDF copy of the book. The WikiLeaks link was then taken down, but it's already out there, you guys. So I think it's amazing. We're living in a day and age when, because of the digital realm, because ebooks are a thing, because it's so easy to get a digital copy of books nowadays, we actually have an ability to shut down the money-making machine. The whole reason this book was made is so Michael Wolff, big difference, right? Tom Wolfe and Michael Wolff. Michael Wolff can make a bunch of money, but also can be used as a smear tactic. Now, the money part's gone, you guys, because the book is available for free everywhere and will continue to be so because it's being put up again and again and again. As we all know, once something leaks out into the media, once something leaks out into the world, that's pretty much the end of that. And it's never going back in Pandora's bottle. Okay. It's never going back in the box. Never. So I'm happy to actually see that us patriots are fighting back on this book and that we're doing our part. Continue, if you get a chance to share the link of the book, share it. Share it. Share the link to the book. You don't have to read it. It's a bunch of crap, but continue to disseminate this information so they have an inability to bring it down. Because they want to bring down our president? Well, you're not going to make money off that. That's what us patriots say. I'm very proud. Very, very proud of what the movement is doing. So, I want to talk a little bit about our MAGA candidates because I've been doing a lot of research. We are building a database for MAGA candidates across the country, for candidates that have expressed public support for our president and for his Make America Great Again agenda. And I am amazed, you guys. I'm amazed and stunned at what I am finding. There are a ton, a huge ton of MAGA candidates across the country. There's a movement happening in this country of individuals who are excited about what the president is doing and have heard the calling to step up and try to fill in and really engage their government again. Become a government of the people, by the people, and for the people. A lot of these people who have not run for office, they're small business owners, they're teachers, they're, doctors. They're people who across the country who have real lives, who are setting those lives aside and are making the sacrifice to run for office, run against some of these establishment Republicans who we've had such a hard time convincing to support our president's agenda. And, it's amazing what I'm seeing. It's amazing what I'm seeing across the country. If you are, whatever state you're in, if you're watching now, of course, click the share. And then after you've clicked share, think if there's any candidates you know of, please share them with me either here on the page, here in the feed, or feel free to private message me. Any way you can get in touch with me, I'm happy to hear about all of your pro-Trump candidates. We're building a great big database. You'll be able to search by state and by office, Senate, House, Governor, all these things, so that you'll be able to find out what's going on in your state, as well as states across the country, and really start to get a picture of what the MAGA movement is doing as far as the midterms and the primaries are concerned. It's really, really, really amazing. Now, tonight, I'm going to be down at Trump Tower International. We have a MAGA meetup there, and we will be meeting with Bobby Lawrence, who's running for Senate in Pennsylvania. I've talked with Bobby several times. Very, very down-to-earth guy. Also big Trumper. He was at MOAR. He spoke at MOAR. And his website, his campaign website has him in his big Trump shirt. And he goes to almost all of his events in his Trump gear. He is a proud and out Trumper. And I just love watching, I just love watching, him do his thing because, we need more of these really pro-Trump grassroots people getting involved. Now, I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about the MAGA candidate movement because we need to get all this enthusiasm going, and I support all my MAGA candidates. Get in there, run in those primaries, run against these rhinos. I'm not going to start getting into arguments about who's dividing the vote. Do we have too many MAGA candidates? We should have that problem, right? Too many MAGA candidates? Wouldn't that be great? Too many? We might at some point, hopefully they'll have to get together and figure out, what to do for the best of the movement. But it is at this point so key that we continue to just show a show of force, that there are candidates, that there are people who are willing to do that. Now, I'm going to encourage all of my patriots and all of my patriot candidates as we move through the primary process, as we all know in politics, at some point people get out of the race. Either they don't win in the primaries or they decide for some reason to close their campaign down. We need to be throwing our support behind our other MAGAs. We need to keep whittling it down. So the primary needs to operate like it's always intended to operate. You guys, we're not operating this new political divide style that we've been doing, which is you vote for somebody in the primary you love, and if he doesn't win, you just don't vote. I don't even want to be involved with any of it. We cannot afford to do that this year, you guys. We cannot afford to stand back. We cannot afford to stay home. That's what happened in Alabama. Okay? What happened in Alabama is that the Republican Party was able to convince enough people, thank you, Jeremy, thank you, I'm glad to do it, the Republican Party and the Democrats were able to convince enough people to stay home out of concern for the scandal, out of confusion, all of these sort of things, so we didn't get the turnout necessary. We've got to be more grown than that. So as we're moving forward, to all my candidates and to their supporters, as a candidate, for whatever reason, comes out of the race, we need to throw our support behind another MAGA candidate, and then it whittles down. Okay, when that candidate is out, then that candidate is out. You know, much like a lot of our Ted Cruz supporters did when we had Ted Cruz down to Ted and Trump, Trump won. Okay, so we had a lot of Ted Cruz people throw their support. We still had some Cruz bots who didn't want to. They turned into never Trumpers. They're very annoying still to this day. But I, from personal experience, know a lot of Ted Cruz supporters who became super Trumpers. Welcome, Ronald. Welcome from Cleveland. Love Cleveland. Cleveland rocks. A lot of my Cruz friends are some of the biggest Trump supporters because now that they've seen a year of President Trump, they've seen him living up to his promises. Those are the promises they were expecting. They were hoping to get border security. They were hoping to get tax reform. These are all things that they expected that Ted Cruz would be able to do. Trump is doing them. So they've actually become some really great Trump supporters. I love my Ted Cruz Trumpers. I love them. So that's the kind of thing we're going to need to do as we move through the primary process. As our candidates get whittled down, we're going to have to get behind. Now, let's be honest. We're going to talk real talk for a second. You guys, seriously. Okay? Seriously. That's going to mean getting out there and voting for some rhinos. Let's just pause. I know everyone hates that. They hate that. They don't want to vote for, I hate those people that do nothing. They're not good for us. Yes, you're right. They do nothing. They're not good for us. You know what's worse for us? Democrat control of the House. So, we all have to ask ourselves as we're going forward. And I'm starting to talk about it now in January because the primary process is going to start to happen. Candidates are going to drop in and out. And we're going to be frustrated. We're going to get disenfranchised. We're going to get disillusioned. All these frustrated feelings that come with the political process. But you know what? I'm trying to prepare us for that. We're going to have to vote for some rhinos. We're going to have to do a little bit of this. But it's going to be necessary because the alternative, you guys, the alternative to not electing Republican candidates to the House and to the Senate is 3 years of impeachment trials. 2 years. 2.5 years. 4 years. Because we'll reelect him and they'll still keep trying to impeach him. They'll Bill Clinton that boy. They will Bill Clinton our candidate. Yes, they will. Over nothing. Unlike Bill Clinton, who is an actual rapist, sexual assault, all of this, they'll hold Trump up over nothing if we give them the ability to do it. And the establishment is going to, they're not going to, they're either out of design or out of ignorance, out of habit. They just keep doing the same wrong thing over and over. They're not going to be as useful to us in preventing that as we'd like them to be. We have to step up. And one of the ways we do that is we build enthusiasm through the MAGA candidate. We build the enthusiasm through the primaries. And then if we get that MAGA candidate in office, great. Run with that candidate. We did it. Awesome. If we don't get that candidate in office, we have to put that energy behind ensuring a Republican majority is maintained for our president. So key. I love Mary can say hi, Kristen, but I can't see Kristen. Zuckerberg, will you show me all people's comments instead of just whichever ones you think I want to see? If I can't see your comment and I'm not responding to you, if I'm not responding to your comment, it's probably because I can't see it. I just want to let you know. Zuckerberg, for some reason, does not show me all the comments. Mary is 100% correct. Take a deep breath. A rhino is better than a Dem. Not in every vote, but just the fact that having an R behind their name gives us more clout than a D. Absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. So it's vital, you guys, when I talk about our MAGA candidates, to understand that they have 3 really important jobs. And this is why I love them so much, because these people are putting their lives, their time, their money, their effort on the line to do 3 very important things for our country. 1, potentially engage the government, get involved in the government, and get new citizen governance in office. So key, so important. I'm so excited about that. 2, get the voter rolls filled up, get enthusiastic voters engaged in the process, build up the voter registration. Such an important part that the enthusiasm from these MAGA candidates to do great things, to get the registration up so that we're ready going into the general election to really take these Democrats on. And 3, put pressure on our candidates. Put pressure on the incumbents, on the Republicans, to do the work the American people have sent them to do. Instead of what they've been doing for so long, some of these people up there forever. Instead of what they've been doing for so long, this is the kind of thing we're talking about. So, there's some interesting candidates I want to mention. Jay Hyatt, out of Utah, who, I believe he will be running, it looks like, I talked with him yesterday, I believe he's running against, he's running in the office that Mitt Romney is being, groomed for, Orrin Hatch's old seat. So, there's some interesting candidates to take a look at. Also Patrick Colbeck, who's running for governor up in Michigan. I had a good conversation with him. And like I said, we will be talking with Bobby Lawrence today at MAGA Meetup here in DC. So I'm really excited to keep talking to these individuals who are inspired. And it's a movement across the country, you guys. There are dozens, probably, with it, we're building a database, it might be hundreds at this point. We don't even know how deep this is going to go because we keep finding new candidates every single day. And from my heart to your heart, thank you. Thank you to every American who is willing to take up the mantle of running for office, and they're doing that for our country. So I'm so super proud. Super proud. And that Mary mentions that Ted Cruz and Hannity have both endorsed Patrick Colbeck. So, as you know, because we are a part of Stand With POTUS PAC here on Trump Talk US, we do not endorse or are authorized by any candidate, but I like them all. And, you know, these are some great endorsements. Who can, if you got Ted Cruz and Hannity, I'm just saying, those are some quality conservative endorsements. Certainly some things to look at. So important we vet our candidates. Vet our candidates. I can only do so much to even find the folks. We'll put the information out there. It's your job as a voter. Read about them. Find the ones you like. And then support the candidates. And of course, you can always support Stand With POTUS PAC. New information will be coming out later today and tomorrow. How you can get involved. Stand With POTUS PAC. Helping us with all of the work we're doing across the country, supporting these candidates, supporting voter registration, supporting voter education, which is one of the things we're doing here with the database, working on. And of course, and voter enthusiasm, getting out the vote, building up that movement that is so important. The Trump movement is making great things happen in this country. I'm so impressed, and continue to be impressed. So, wow, President Trump's speech yesterday, you guys. Chime in down below if you managed to listen to the president yesterday. Some amazing things. If you are not following the president on Twitter, if you are not following the White House on Twitter, all of the text of the speech is written. I mean, they basically tweeted the whole thing bit by bit in 140 or 280 characters at a time. So you could just get the tweets and then you'd actually know what the president said, because we all know the media loves to spin on it. And I'm sure mainstream media has a habit now of cutting out and not really watching all of what the president said. Remember back in the campaign when they'd sit, Trump would come on and that would be the only thing. Like, they would talk smack about Trump the whole time, but they would listen to his speech. And so what Trump really was saying was coming in, was the message was getting out through the airwaves, because they would still listen to the speech. And then they figured out, oh, we're actually giving Trump airtime. We should stop doing that. And so they started talking over him, but then just showing him talking. So it's out on YouTube. It's out on Breitbart. It's out on a bunch of places. If you get a chance, take a look at it. And like I said, they did tweet the entire thing. So, thank you so much. Thank you, Mike. And, it's really interesting. There's a lot of support going on for President Trump around the world that we don't even see with the way he's handling Jerusalem. with the way he's handling the Islamic refugee and terrorism issue. There's actually a lot of support. And even in Britain, you know, as much as they talk about they want to keep Trump from going to Britain. No. So, I think we've covered pretty much everything that's big news for the day. I know you should go to whitehouse.gov, check out what Donald Trump is doing every day. If you're not following his tweets, get a chance to check out what the president is doing. He is meeting with both members. No, I know. Share suppression. I understand. Thank you, Alex. Alex is, that's my husband, Alex. He shares. And Zuckerberg is on me today. He's on me. He's like, I see you in Snowy Town. Maybe, you know, maybe the liberal journalists in Snowy Town are shutting me down. That could be an excuse too. There are no liberal journalists in Snowy Town. This is Trump country right here, folks. Don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted. So, we got a lot of good things coming down the pike. You know, the president is talking with both bipartisan members of Congress right now and the Senate about immigration. Yes, Mary, it's a good point. Art, she says, in response to vetting, check their voting record. You know, it's one of the problems we have with new candidates. If you haven't run for office at all, it's hard to check their voting record. But you can, of course, that's one of the things that makes social media so great. Do some research, find their social media. Just like you vet Facebook friends, you guys. Go in and see their posts. Go in and see their pictures. Do they post a lot of Trump stuff? Do they have a lot of Trump friends and they like a lot of Trump stuff? That's how you vet. I know I need to make a tiny little Trump. I actually was just telling Alex the other day that we should have little Trump signs all through Snowy Town. So we need Snowy Trump. I need a Donald Trump. If anybody has a Donald Trump figurine, it needs to be about that big. That big. See, like about the size of my ear or less. Because, you know, the people in Snowy Town, they're small. So I need a tiny little Trump, this big. This is just the choir. They're just singing. They're just singing little songs. They're probably singing, "Make America Great Again. Make America Great." That's what they're probably singing, but we can't hear because they sing quietly. So, folks, that's our show for today. It's, you know, we got 45 minutes today because we have a lot of news coming up, but it's one of those, you know, you see the curve in the media. They get this big story, the Wolf book, and the Oprah Golden Globes thing, and then for like 2 days, they just beat that dead horse. And the rest of us in the citizen journo community are all like, is there anything else going on? Is there anything, yep, I know, little bitties, printer. In fact, if you notice, that's how we made Snowy Town. That billboard, is actually a Menards billboard. But we covered up with Snowy Town because we're not trying to promote Menards. We're trying to promote Snowy Town. So, and, you know, Menards, is that Christmassy? No, they don't even have them here. So, we will be back again tomorrow, you guys. If you get a chance, please go to Trump Talk US page. You can find it at trumptalk.us, www.trumptalk.us. You can also find it at facebook.com/TrumpTalkUS. Go and like and share the page because we have transferred over. As you know, we've done that because we are now working in conjunction. I'm very honored to have been hunted out for the work I've been doing in the MAGA movement. Stand with POTUS has very eagerly asked me to participate, to come on board as chair. And I have accepted doing that. So we're going to be raising money. I'm going to be asking you guys to send us a little money for the Stand with POTUS pack so that we can start doing some great things in the MAGA community with that unified vision of what we need to do going forward. It's one of the reasons I'm so excited to be involved with them. But that does mean because of FEC rules, I have to show you this before we go. And that's our show. I don't have any tunes because I don't have the radio going, and the Christmas music only plays once an hour. So, Snowy Town, they're very regulated. They're libertarian but regulated nonetheless. It's snowy. Snow does a lot of the work. Folks, keep on crumping. Keep on doing your good work. Keep on supporting the president. He's doing great work for us. We are continuing to see the world and the country come back. I'm so, so excited. We will be back again tomorrow to talk about more of the great things our president is doing and how he is making this country great again and how you can help. So, everybody, it's your girl Suzzanne Monk, trumping out as always, making America great, one day at a time.